Welcome to the Lead Her radio show, where up is in and women are on the rise. Featuring your host, Kim Boudreaux-Smith, business consultant and strategist, speaker, and international best-selling author. Kim supports women entrepreneurs in becoming top producers in their business. Kim's guests will be sharing business strategies and how to overcome obstacles and achieve true success. And now, here's your host, Kim Boudreaux-Smith.
Well, happy Monday, everybody. I cannot believe we are at another Monday. Welcome to Lead Her Up is In, Women on the Rise. And my guest tonight, she's not a woman on the rise. She has risen and she continues to rise. Again, my opinion every week is very biased with my guests. But welcome to the Bold Mindful Mondays. My guest is wonderful. She's one of my co-authors in The Bold is Beautiful, and then we were co-authors in a couple, other books. That's how we get to know each other. We're going to learn all about that shortly. But speaking of books, first of all, we are broadcasting live from Bold Radio Station, www.boldradiostation.com. If you are interested in advertising or becoming a radio show host yourself, just go to the website and you can reach out to me via the contact page. Yes, if you know me very well, I cannot sit still. On December 20th, we launched Bold is Beautiful, and we became #1 international best-selling authors. And boy, oh boy, Jasmin, who's my guest this evening, I know she's waiting in the green room, but I know she can hear me. What a ride. I wouldn't change anything. It was amazing. But I cannot sit still, so I'm in the process of Bold is Beautiful. This is #2, and it's Breakthrough to Business Strategies. So if you have a dream or a desire to launch a writing career, and you don't even have to want to launch a writing career. If you want to get involved with a collaboration of some wonderful, wonderful women, please reach out to me through www.kimb.com. Just fill out the contact page and just simply say, I would like more information about Bold is Beautiful. And I will get back in touch with you because, yes, I am looking for some co-authors. And we're going to have a few of the co-authors from the first book step back on in. So right there, the foundation is laid, and those women are absolutely amazing and beautiful. But okay, enough of that. I am so excited to bring on my wonderful, wonderful guest. So without waiting any longer, I'd like to introduce her. Dr. Jasmin Christensen is the founder of Healing Connections and Pathways. She started teaching and counseling while still active duty in the United States Marine Corps. She has accrued over 20 years of counseling and teaching experience. Empowerment and healing has been the main focus of her work with people across the U.S. and on an international scale. She has lectured at various universities and colleges, both nationally and internationally. She has the unique experience of working trauma-related counseling, specifically trauma-related therapy work site at disasters such as 9/11 in New York City and others. The idea of using cognitive behavioral therapy has been something that Dr. Christensen has found useful with many clients. Using various healing techniques to help her clients overcome obstacles, move forward, and become whole again is her main focus. Oh, that's so important. Helping people to heal themselves and their lives is her unique niche. Being an energy healer herself, she sees and feels firsthand what today's healers have to overcome and work past. Her unique connections with people on a general basis make her a popular and empathetic counselor and life coach. Being a multiple sclerosis patient herself, Dr. Christensen has the first-hand experience of overcoming almost insurmountable odds just to achieve daily tasks. She has fully embraced her wounded healer archetype and brings that experience to the table when accessing new clients and developing their individual programs. Not only is Jasmin this amazing physician, she is also a #1 international best best-selling author. So if you could all put your hands together. And welcome, Jasmin. Don't I have an amazing audience?
Oh, you have a wonderful audience. I love it. Thank you.
Thank you for being on the show tonight. Jasmin, we've gotten to know each other, and I got to say this right out the gate tonight is I still cannot believe what you overcome with the multiple sclerosis. I forget that you have that. And it's not that because I don't see you, I just forget because of your energy that you put through social media, how you present yourself and everything else that as a partner and a mom and a physician and a author and stuff that you go through. So I just want to say right out the gate, you are amazing. You're a very strong woman and you are amazing.
Well, thank you. It is one of those kind of things where, I don't want to be, oh, well, gee, there's that little lesbian. I want to be, oh, gee, there's Jasmin. Oh, and on and on and on. And, oh, by the way, she also has a miss,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I get it. I'm with you. I understand that. So let's go to the beginning here. You are a USMC, a United States Marine Corps person. So when did you?
I am.
I know that. First of all, that's another thing. Every time I hear you say that, or when we're in conversation, or if I'm reading something about you, I'm like, really? Oh my gosh. Okay. It's little things like that are that we have in our background. I always step back and go, she did that. Oh yeah, that's right. She did do that. I don't see that, but that's okay. It's just one of those things that I go through. But when did you decide to go to start going to school? Was it when you were in active duty? Take us back to the beginning.
I already been to school, and in fact, I was one of the youngest people at the University of Arkansas at Little Rock. I was 17 and a freshman, 16 in my senior year of high school, and so it was kind of a standard joke of like, oh, gee, all these frat parties. No, I'm sorry, she can't go. She's not old enough to drink. She can't go. And then when I was old enough, it was like a big, huge party that really wasn't all that great because I was back behind the cars and out back growing up, so.
Right. So you got a very early on start.
I did. It was just kind of expected, It was like it was either get married or go to college, and my mother, God bless her, and I love her dearly. I have a lot of respect for the lady. I didn't always agree with her. She's also a very strong woman. She survived World War II in Germany at a time when, at the age of 5, her hometown was being bombed down around her ears.
Wow.
Yeah. So she had a lot of hard guidelines for me. And that was, if you're not going to get married, then, go to school, do something with yourself. That's kind of what I did, even though I really had no clue what I wanted to be or do when I grew up. I still ask myself that question, what do you want to be when you grow up? I have no clue, but let's just go with it,
Yeah, I was saying that. I was asking myself that same question about 6 years ago. I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, and I figured it out really quick. And I love saying that. I mean, I'm in the second half of my life. I just love saying that, and I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with saying that. But so how old were you when you stepped into the United States, the USMC, the Marine Corps?
I was that was 1982, and I was actually 21. It was some months before my 22nd birthday.
Okay, so you high school, did some college, and then went into the Marine Corps. Is that right?
Pretty much. I've bounced around from job to job trying to figure out where I fit in. What I had all this drive and passion and no clear direction, and it drove me crazy. And everybody else crazy. So.
Well, it sounds like you found. Part of you. When I see you, or when I see your picture, or when I hear your name, I think of healing. I think of physician, and I think of healing. With through energetic healing, through the essential oils, that you're very savvy, with eating issues. You're very useful, helpful, and savvy that way. So, what kind of education did you do? The traditional education?
Somewhat. I did the traditional, bachelor of science, master of science, PhD in counseling psychology. I finished that was kind of piecemealed over the years because in the Marine Corps, of course, I fell in love, got married, had kids, buried one child, got divorced, and wound up being very much a single parent, and which is why I did not continue on in my career in the Marine Corps. I realized that as a single mother of two very small kids, those two did not work. I could not give dedication to both. And I thought, okay, I had these kids. That was my choice. My dedication has to be with them.
Yeah. That's got to be a huge commitment when you're in the Marine Corps like that. Man or woman, that's got to be I can only imagine the commitment. And when you're looking at two young kids as a single parent, you've got to make your choices. You have to make your choices.
Yes, you do. And basically, especially when they're both in diapers, it's hard enough for men, much less a single mother. It's wow.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so you've been through a lot, and I know that you have, as a mother, as a parent, you have, chronologically, we do not outlive our children, and you have experienced that. And this is totally up to you. I don't want to stay around here unless you do, but for other listeners out there, we take things and it can really paralyze us. And so if there's a little golden nugget here to help our listeners to move through, either it's around life, business, anything, how did you help yourself to continue, because you are a very strong woman, to continue to be strong when you were losing a child and then shortly after, it sounds like shortly after that, I don't know the time frame, becoming a single parent, all that stuff that was going on.
Right. It was close. Losing a child will shake even the best of marriages.
Yeah.
And my marriage wasn't very good at that point anyway, so it just kind of shattered what little was left. I'm not sure it would have survived much longer anyway, but that was pretty much definitely it at that point. I would say, and this also kind of goes back to what I wrote about, is that you can be strong, you can go, keep working and keep doing and keep going on and on and on and on, in spite of all, in spite of to burying a child or any of that. Really, all that does is it allows us to escape the reality of our emotions, of our own mind. And it will reach up and it will slap you. It will knock the actual dog snot right out of you.
Yep.
And I say, when you're ready, because we all get to that point, and each of us in our own time, when you're ready, find a support group. I just thank God that my sergeant saw me in really, really bad trouble, and he said, you need help. Whether you want it or not, I'm going to get you help, and you can't tell me no, because we're in the Marine Corps, and I outrank you.
Thank God for that in that situation.
It was, because, I was in a nervous breakdown.
Yeah. And
because I had gone for 6 months without really, not really, and sleep and the nightmares and the paranoia and the bad marriage and all the crap that went with it, I was a shaking wreck. I really was. And he sent me over to a counselor, and she said, all right, and she was even tougher than I was, and said, enough of your crap, talk to me.
Yeah.
And I hemmed and hawed, and she kept me in that office all day until I finally sat down and actually talked with her. And at that point, she said, okay, you don't need counseling. What you need is you need a support group. And she happened to be running a really great support group, and and it was called Healing Hearts, and it was for parents who had lost children. Mm. And I will have to say, there's nothing more healing than being in a room with people that have known, say, nightmare.
Yeah.
That is a private club that nobody in their right mind ever wants to be a part of. But you find yourself there.
You know, Jasmin, I'm a true believer, and you and I have had these conversations too, and because of the books that bring us together, of the collaboration. I'm just a huge believer that it doesn't matter where we're at in our lives, what situation we are facing. Find yourself support, because, you know, Jasmin, I'm not a parent, and, you know, could, God forbid, back at that time, you know, if we were friends, could I console you and be your friend? Yes, but I cannot actually truly empathize what you were going through. I'm not a parent. And I mean, first of all, that was wonderful that you were steered and led towards to that therapist, and she obviously was good and was not going to let you out until you finally until she broke through the wall, and you decided to come out from behind your wall, and then said, you don't need therapy, you need a support group. It's so important that we sit with others that can empathize and truly feel what it is that we are going through. And not only just support groups, though, Jasmin, that's what we got to pull together, our families, our friends. We need all that, because if not, we're going south. We're going to go bye-bye. We're going to go south. And it's not going to, and it won't be fun. It will not be fun.
I mean, you know, and honestly, it's something I learned from that point in my life is something I take with me even today, because I don't know who's going through what out there in the world, but when I'm walking out there and I meet people, and I will look them in the eye, and I will tell them or say to them, how are you today? And I will mean every word of it. And if that means that they will keep me for 5 hours telling me how horrible their day was or how wonderful their day was, I'm serious, because I want to know.
Yeah. I think that comes from, this is my biased opinion, I think that comes from because of what you have experienced and the interpersonal growth work that you do and you continue to do on yourself, because I think it's very difficult. As women, we can render and offer things like that, but we burn out after a while if we're not caring for ourselves first and foremost.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you know, I'm always telling people, if you don't, self-love, and you go, oh, I'm an egotistical. It's not about being egotistical. It's about being best possible, spouse, partner, friend, wife, mate, parent, whatever you can possibly be. But to do that, you've got to take care of yourself first.
Yes. And you're
selling everybody, otherwise everyone else loses.
Well, excuse me. And it's not that we're being selfish when we do that. We're being self-filled. We are not being selfish. We're being self-filled. It's that good old-fashioned analogy, and I can really recently relate to this after taking a trip. Is when the flight attendants come out and they say, okay, here's the emergency thing. You pull the mask up over your own face first and foremost. Then you can help your child or the passenger sitting next to you or whatever. And that's the same thing. I mean, is cliche, is repetitive, whatever. It's true. It is very true that we got to care for ourselves first and foremost, or everyone loses, as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly.
So share with the listeners. Share a little bit about your business. How you're managing everything because of your health challenges, which they're not challenges. I'm a firm believer your health opportunities, because your opportunities you turn them into opportunities in turn, which makes you stronger to be able to help others. But share a little bit what it is that what your practice is looking like, and and what you are doing these days.
I'm still focusing on healing, and of course, I get told by a lot of people, oh, that's too broad a niche. It's too broad a niche. Not really, because I find I can take people as they are and try to streamline them, guide them towards what they need, and if I don't have it, I know somebody who does,
Right, right.
And that is the beauty of the internet. I mean, I know when ask me, oh, well, which hospital do you work at or the clinic? I tried that, and thanks to bad management at one of the clinics over in Fort Smith, where I was doing clinicals, I wound up with a couple of ruptured discs in my back with a patient attacked me. Am I afraid to go back into a clinic? No. Do I feel I can offer people more by having my own practice and having it a majority online? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I do, because I can streamline what I need to do. If I've got a really busy day, or if I need to go run over to Fort Smith and help my husband with something, I can do that.
Yes.
Yeah. I have laptop and iPhone, and we'll travel. So.
And that's amazing with technology. You know what? I want to add something what you just said. Because I of course, you and I, like I said, we've talked numerous amount of times. We're connected through a book, and so I know quite a bit what's going on. But I want to say, all the entrepreneurs, all the solo business owners out there, the number one, and it is a challenge. First of all, we own our own schedules. Do not forget that. And I'm going to admit, I can get guilty of this once in a while. But we own our own schedules, and then in turn, it's all about balancing, managing, and realizing, like Jasmin just said, have laptop will travel, because she may have to get down to where her husband's at, or and she's got kids and things like that. So just remember, have laptop will travel, and being able to say no to things.
Right, exactly. Because if I'm on a trip to India, yes, I know I could tap into Wi-Fi at almost any hotel, and so much in Africa. But but then again, there are times of do I really want to always be available? No, there are times when I want to go get a massage, or I want to go enjoy the beach or the sunset or whatever. Or I just want to go have a glass of wine and talk with my friends.
Yes. Yeah. And we have to be able to learn how to not completely shut things off, because we are the business owners. Things do not get completely shut off, but you can put it in a warming drawer, or you can put it on neutral. And right. If you're feeling things are getting a little too backed up, I'm a firm believer on it. Then it's time to start delegating, and maybe you hire an assistant for an hour a week, something that's very affordable and manageable, or 2 hours a week or whatever. Or if it's getting a little too out of control because you're having this outrageously booming business, then maybe it's time to, things that you've done in the past, let some things go,
Oh, no. One of the ladies that was my early coaches, she had this beautiful saying that said, if it's not your genius, it's not your task. Find somebody whose genius it is and delegate.
Yep. Yes. I just hired a new assistant, and I love her, and she understands that. You and I, as the business owners, we're marketing, we're selling, we're managing, oh my God, and then the mundane tasks that does not, things that have to be done in our business, those mundane tasks for someone like you and I, who are in the forefront of our business, that slows us down, that hinders us from doing the marketing and the servicing and the selling. So I love this woman. She really gets it, and I cannot wait just to delegate a bunch of stuff to her.
Oh, yeah. Because that's exactly right. I have people who might see me because, well, you're online all the time. I may be online all the time, but, I've got 5 tabs open.
Yes. Yeah.
And just because Facebook is one of them, because I have a business on Facebook, so I'm not over here chatting about what color socks I'm wearing today, trust me.
Yes. Well, you know what though, Jasmin, that's the other thing is I've had people say to me, gosh, you've got a lot of time on your hands. You're online. I said, no. Our businesses are national and international. We're global. We're international business owners. How do you think we work internationally? Well, we do that via technology. And one of the arenas on Facebook is you and I get, we have a lot of communications on the Facebook, and I get a lot of my business through Facebook. I've got to have that tab open. That's one of many tabs that I have open throughout the day.
Exactly. Same here, along with my Twitter and my Google Plus and my LinkedIn. Oh yeah. Yeah, I completely get, but a lot of people who only go to Facebook to socialize or to play games don't always get, and that's okay because we're slowly educating them. So,
Yeah, exactly. You know what? Well, let's, excuse me. I said I wasn't going to cough, didn't I? Let's talk a little bit about some books here for a minute, Jasmin. And then I want to swing back around to you because I don't want to take it completely off of you. But okay, so how many books in 2013 did you participate in?
Three wonderful books.
Yes. You and I were in Hot Mama.
Nope.
No, Success in High Heels. Sorry.
Yes.
Geez, I was in 4 books. I got to tell you something. I feel like that Success in High Heels book was a lifetime ago already.
I know, and it was such a huge step for me, and it was very much a door opener, and my brain just kind of went boing. Oh, we can do this again. All right.
Yes. So you were in Success in High Heels, and then the second book you were in
25 Brilliant Business Mentors with Margot DeGange.
Yeah, and who was one of our co-authors in Success in High Heels. Yep, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Yep. And then
Bold is Beautiful, which is a phenomenal book.
Yeah, Bold is Beautiful, and then we're going to do a sequel to that because Bold is Beautiful. I have to tell you, you wrote such a beautiful chapter. All the women that participated in Bold is Beautiful, the chapters were beautiful, just beautiful, and everyone showed up how I had asked, and we bared our souls in that book, and and it was beautiful. It was every soulful woman in that book was absolutely beautiful. But now we got to give the strategies and the tips on how to move forward. Like for an example, like you were just saying, okay, have laptop, we'll travel. All right, I've got these appointments, but my husband needs me in this other town. So, it's how do we strategize? How do we do this stuff? How do we manage this stuff? Because we wear multiple hats, not just as a business owner. We're still a partner. We're still moms. We're still, whatever, co-authors. We just got so much going on. And so now it's time to bare our souls, how we continue to keep being strong and pushing forward, but yet staying very beautiful.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So, yes, you are well, I know Success in High Heels was an international bestseller, and Bold is Beautiful, we made it #1 in the category as international bestsellers. Right. Did the other book make it as a bestseller?
Yes, it did.
Oh.
Yes, it did. So I have 3 under my belt, and that actually was my goal. When I jumped on the other ones, I thought, this is going to be my goal. This is going to be my legacy for 2013 from to have 3 best-selling books that puts me as the expert in my category.
Yes. So first of all, here's the $1 million question. We are now in 2014, and I know you, just like me, we don't sit still. So, what are your plans for 2014?
I am actually putting together something that I have not done before, and that is coursework for a new program in healing relationships.
Wow. And you will offer this, of course, to your clients, correct?
Yes. And in fact, I hope to have it ready in February.
Oh, my God, that's exciting. And so you will make the announcement on social media?
Yes, I will.
And you know what? We're halfway through the show, so we're not ending yet. But go ahead and give everybody your website.
Actually, right now, I don't have a website because I'm changing everything up. But my Facebook fan page for my business is Healing Connections and Pathways on Facebook. Believe it or not, I'm the only one out there with that name on Facebook. My author page will also have, that's where all the books are. I'm probably not going to do an announcement there, but on Healing Connections and Pathways on Google Plus is another one where I'm going to have that announcement. And Jasmin Christensen on Twitter.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So everyone can reach out through you there for the information for this awesome product that you're putting together and that you're going to be launching here very soon.
Right. Because, as you well know, I have this snarky, quirky, wonderful sense of humor. Probably my biggest talent in any of this is the fact that, I won't lead you down the garden path and round the mulberry bush. I can't stand that garbage, and I will take a look at a client and go, okay, cut to the chase. And I will give them verbally and soapboxes of like, this is what it looks like your issue is. Let's get down to brass tacks. Stop playing around.
Yep, absolutely. Hey, why waste any more time, right? I mean, let's push our sleeves up and let's get on in there. This is exciting. I'm excited for you. I had no idea that you were doing this. I know you shared a little bit before with me, but this is all coming to fruition. That is wonderful.
It is, because I mean, so many people are in relationships that are wounded, are hurting, are falling apart when they don't need to be.
Yes,
and we can help ourselves and our partner and the rest of our family heal through healing our relationships.
Yeah, I agree. Jasmin, I agree with you, and I think that if we all could heal the relationship with ourself first and foremost, which is what we were talking about, and then in turn take a look at our partners and with our children and our grandchildren and our neighbors across the street, I feel there would be the word love would be more common than the word hate. In fact, a lot of times I don't use the word hate that much, but I'll say something like to my husband, I'll go, "Ooh, I just hate the taste of that." And he's like, "Do you really hate it?" And I'm like, yeah, that I really hate, but okay, but I do dislike it. I mean, it really is, it's just like yes and no. I mean, it's all part of our vocabulary, but I see and hear that the word hate is used so much more than the word love. In fact, I get in situations where we start talking about love and so many people are so uncomfortable around that word.
Because so many people have no clue what it means. They equate it with, music or music videos or movies, but to actually get down to and get them to understand what love is, they have no clue.
Yeah, that's true. That's really true. I'm so excited that you are, excuse me, that you are going to be launching this. It's so greatly needed out there, and let's come back around to the books. Let's talk a little bit about your chapters. Share with just little bits and pieces about your chapters. And I mean, because 3 books, that's a lot. 3 books last year, that's a lot.
It is. I loved it. And I have been writing short stories and poetry ever since I was probably in junior high.
Ooh.
I had my first poem published when I was actually in the Marine Corps, and it was actually to honor my little boy who had passed. So yeah.
Yeah.
And so that really kind of got me going a little bit more. Later on, I had the opportunity to be a newspaper reporter for a little while, and just continue on. But yeah, success in high heels was wonderful in the fact that I got to talk about what is it like to do what I do, run a business, and have MS, and how did I get there?
Mm-hmm.
And so I had a chance to really talk about that one. And actually, I really kind of talked about a really bad day, that where it's like you wake up and it's like, oh crap, your legs don't want to work, and just the kind of laser focus that you have just to force your muscles to move, just to drag yourself to the toilet,
Right.
And those are all choices that you make along the way. Like, well, I can kind of lay here, feel sorry for myself, wet the bed and myself, and wait for my husband to come home and change me, or I can get up and I can do this myself.
Mm-hmm.
And again, choices, and that particular day, because that actually was, pulled out of of a day that I was having probably 2 years worth of some really horrible flare-ups that really didn't stop. And it literally did take me all day to get from the bed to the bathroom, to getting dressed, to getting out into the kitchen, and it was like, oh God, okay, that took me 4 hours, and then, okay, from the kitchen, have coffee, make it, towards the other end of the house to where my office is, that took 4 hours, but that's okay, yeah.
That's allowing yourself to be okay in those moments, whether it's, whether it's, the multiple sclerosis, or if it's major depression we're dealing with, or, whatever. It's allowing yourself to seeing the accomplishments in that day. You still made it. You still went to point A to point B where you wanted to be.
Right.
It just took you probably a little longer overall than you wanted to. So, Jasmin, how are you managing, with MS? How do you manage? I mean, I know you're very holistic. I know you're, an energetic healer and a healer. Is it stress? I mean, how are you managing everything on a day-to-day basis?
It is. I've got a counter full of, well, not really counter, probably about 6 different supplements that I take. I do take a medication, for eating time for, when those symptoms want to act up. And that's usually because of either stress, not eating properly, or way too much coffee, I love my coffee, but I have learned to love decaf just as much, so that's okay.
So does caffeine affect you? Is that what I'm hearing?
It does. It does. I allow myself 1 cup of real coffee a day, and that's in the mornings. Whether it's coffee or tea. I love Indian chai. Absolutely love it. But if I have it in the evening, I'm not going to sleep that night. There's just no way I can. And if I push myself too hard with sleeping, which that's also a side effect of MS, a lot of us, it's either we're exhausted all the time and we sleep constantly, or we can't sleep at all. It's very seldom in the middle.
Yes.
And that's kind of the whole goal, to try to be in the middle.
Yeah.
But coconut oil helps. Turmeric helps stop the inflammation of the nerves. Which stops a lot of the acting up. So does magnesium, that helps with the stress. Things like that, vitamin B. Vitamin C.
Yes. And are you a believer in meditating?
Oh yes.
Yeah, to help to help keep the stress at bay and manageable. And
actually, really what works for me, because I'm one of these people that probably had they known what ADHD was at the time when I was a child, I probably would have been classified as one. Sort of, because it was hard for me to still daydream a lot. I got bored real easily. But basically, I find that just to sit and clear my mind, I can't do that.
mm-hmm.
But I have learned how to creative visualization to guide my mind where it needs to go.
Yep.
And also, I love Tai Chi. Tai Chi is moving meditation. I adore it.
And that's where I've never practiced Tai Chi, but that's where there's very slow, focused movement, correct? But very fluid.
There is very, very fluid. Usually, I have one DVD that I absolutely adore. That basically the music and they tell you, okay, now don't forget to breathe. Deep breathing as well while you're doing it. So you're combining breathing with focusing on the movements with the just slow, gentle fluidity of it. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
People say, well, what's all that good for? Well, honestly, back in 1996, my brother was shot and killed. Unfortunately, it was by his own hand. He was mentally ill, so he committed suicide. Yours truly had the wonderful job of getting to identify the body and have to hold the rest of the family all together. And that was not an easy task. After I got back home, a couple weeks later, I realized I couldn't sleep, but I couldn't function. I was suffering from depression in ways that I never did when my son died. So a very good friend of mine who is no longer with us, but I'm sure to see her on the other side, she said, you need help. You need something that I found wonderful. She sent me this videotape, which she has, that's before back then, videotapes of Tai Chi, and she said, try it. You don't have to master it, but just try it.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, that same night after I got it in the mail that day, I couldn't sleep. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and there I am, putting my thumbs, and the whole house is quiet, and I can't sleep. And I thought, okay, what the hell, So I went into the other room and popped it into the video player, and just in just half an hour, and it was like, oh my God, I'm tired, I'm crazy. I went in, laid down in bed next to my husband, and I slept for probably 12 hours. I woke up feeling not wonderful, but better than I had since before my brother died.
Yeah. Sleep is such. I always say that sleep, it helps repair our human battery, our internal battery. We need rest, and I hear so many people who say, "Oh no, I don't allow myself to take a nap during the day." And it's like, but if your body's asking for a 10-minute sit down, close your eyes, and recharge why would you fight something like that? And I'm a firm believer that if we surrender, whether we lay down and close our eyes for 10 minutes, I don't do this a lot, but when I'm sluggish a little bit, I do take the 10 to 20 minute, and I'm like recharged, ready to go. I'm a firm believer that helps prevent colds.
Oh, definitely. I learned this back in the Marine Corps is that especially on the days when if you have to pull a 24-hour duty like in those days, you didn't get the next day off. You had to continue on as if nothing happened. But realizing how much it damaged us, our bosses would allow us 20-minute power naps, as we call them, take 20 minutes, And sure enough, then they'd wake us up and we'd be okay, And that might have to be a couple times throughout the day, but that's okay.
Yeah, I think people need to learn how to surrender, not just to that. I come from just learning how to surrender, period. And I love the fact that you say that with the meditation, you're not one just to sit still and tell my mind to settle down and be quiet. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but you find that the Tai Chi works for you. Because I talk a lot about meditation, and I just want everyone to know, again, there's so many different forms of meditating. I can go into a meditative state where I'm out walking baby Grace, my 2-year-old black lab, and be very conscientious and be aware, but I can be in a meditative state with my eyes wide open, and things like that. I also find that sitting down first thing in the morning, which is like about 4:30 in the morning, and taking anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes with a guided meditation on, helps me because I move at lightning speed, and just before I even have my cup of coffee, that helps me just ground. And then my little reward afterwards is my cup of coffee and my protein bar. I'm a happy camper.
Oh, yeah. And believe it or not, when I'm over at the gym and I'm in the pool swimming laps, that I can get into a meditative state also just by focusing on laps.
Yes, absolutely. So there's so many different ways to meditate, and I feel that because we are such an instantaneous society, hello google.com, we can have anything at our fingertips. And with technology and, and we've got phones, we've got computers, we've got iPads, we've got pads, eyes, and everything, and then some, and we do need to clear our minds. And another thing for me, Jasmin, personally, is a lot of times when I feel I'm getting really stressed, and I'm going into, I call it like a tsunami, where I'm going into a major storm, because on the other side I know there's going to be a major breakthrough. I have to go and take, like in the kitchen, and open up drawers, and I have to like wipe drawers out, stuff that you don't do on a regular basis, and I have to go organize something, because that is meditative for me. It takes my mind off of everything, and I actually get creative messages when I'm doing things like that.
Oh, definitely. And actually in the springtime, I find that gardening, even if it's indoor gardening in
Yes.
pots. You know, if you can't get outside and get your hands in the dirt, you could bring the dirt indoors and put it into pots and plant seeds. That can be very meditative as well.
Yes, that's one of my favorite things. And when you know, being up here in Michigan, when the weather breaks, is my container gardening outdoors. I love that.
There's something so healing about it, and it's focused meditation, as I like to call it, as well as wonderful ideas.
Yes, yeah. I think one of the reasons why there's something so wonderful and meditative about it is because our hands are in the dirt and we're reconnecting with Mother Earth. I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, and it's very grounding. And when I do my container gardening, I don't want any music on outside. I want to hear the birds chirping, and I just love getting my hands dirty and creating my containers. I mean, it's just like it's a beautiful artistic side that
Yes, it is.
it's really nice. It helps me get lost in that moment and not have to be worrying about, oh my God, I got this email to send out, I got to make this phone call, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I got to do this, I got to do that.
Well, I know. And, you know, and I mean, as much as I love the internet, and because I was back in the 90s, back when all we had was Prodigy and America Online, and that was it, you know.
Yes.
And email took 24 hours, you know.
Yes.
So, I mean, you know, I'm a big believer in a lot of that. But I mean, at the same time, I'm also a big believer in, you know, get out in the convertible, top down, beautiful day, and just drive.
Yeah, and just let your hair flow, or just just to get out. Absolutely. That's so funny you said that you're using the convertible down and get out there and stuff like that. And if you don't have a convertible, roll the darn windows down,
Yes.
keep the air conditioning up, and let some fresh air in. But I said to my husband the other day, I said, all right, I'm not driving any more cars that are practical. My next car is a convertible. I don't care what kind. I want a convertible top. So Grace and I can drive down the street and her black lab ears will flop in the wind.
Oh, yes, definitely. You know, my 125-pound puppy, he adores going for rides. He does. And I mean, that is just his big thing. When my husband's home on the weekends, I mean, he will just go up and grab his leash and just stand there like, hey, you're taking me, right? You're taking me, right? You know.
They're so smart. They're just amazing little things. They bring so many gifts to us with it. Unconditional love. How we walk in and they're so exuberant and they're so happy. It doesn't matter what kind of day or what's been going on. They teach us so many beautiful things animals do.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. I mean, and actually, probably the biggest thing I think they teach us is it doesn't matter how bad things are. They forgive us for absolutely everything.
Yeah, they do. Except for my the old I call her the old hag that we have, Coda. She's one of the most saddest dogs I've ever met. And I just look at my husband and I'm like, do you ever see her tail wag? And he goes, no, that tail's pretty long and heavy. We've only had her for 5 years. So we can speculate what her background is, but
Right.
and plus she's getting older and getting a little stiffer, and she just I look at her and go, I know you don't want your mommy, you want your boyfriend, which is my husband, but I don't know what you're gonna do when he's out of town there, girlfriend, but they really do. They do bring so many beautiful gifts to us, the animals. And I know that's another thing you and I have in common. We are major dog lovers.
We are. Yes, we are. I mean, it's. I mean, I've got everything from a 3-pound little hellhound who is a rescue to a 5-pound rat to,
I love it.
a 40-pound lab mix. She's also a rescue, and then of course my 125-pound puppy, who is my partner in crime with my 3-year-old granddaughter. I mean, he's 32 inches at the shoulder. He's a Shiloh Shepherd. He's huge.
Oh.
But he's such a gentle soul. I mean, my little granddaughter, she will come in and she will read to him. They will sit on the stairs side by side, and he's just following her finger, and she's reading to him out of, it doesn't matter what it is, or if it has pages, she makes up a story. They have their own language.
Yep.
She walks in the kitchen. He's right beside her, and she's so tiny, she has to reach up to grab a hold of his shoulder. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
And if she wants anything on the counter, she just tells him, points to it, and he will get up on the counter and get it for her. I had actually caught him doing this, and he'll look at me like, "What? The baby wanted it."
Oh my gosh, smart boy. He's a smart baby. Oh my God, that's an amazing animal. Now, what do you have to do when you hit the road with laptop? Laptop will travel. What do you do with all the animals?
Well, luckily, I have one of my sons is who is hearing impaired. He's pretty much a homebody. He loves being at home, so he is my official puppy sitter.
Oh, perfect.
And we have started this way back when Jai was just a puppy. Had just got him from the breeder in January of 2010. And basically, he flew in on the plane because we couldn't drive out over to Maryland to get him. And I had been home for maybe a couple of weeks, and so Jai was like a 10-week-old puppy, and I had to go up to India because I have a lecture tour in India that I'm scheduled for. So I'll get on a plane, go up to India. I'm out there doing my thing. He calls me and says, "Mom, we have to do something about the puppy." I'm like, "Okay, what's wrong with the puppy?" And he says, "Well, this puppy is he's getting out of the crate. He's escaping from the accident. He won't stay near any place where I put him." I said, "Well, honey, you have to be smarter than the puppy." So he says, "Well, can we send him back to the breeder and get a stupid dog?" I said,
Oh, that's cute. Oh, I love it. That's so cute. Oh, that's so cute. I love that. All right, Jasmine. We have about 8 minutes left, believe me. I told you this hour was going to go by fast. I knew it would, but I want to bring
That's fun. Oh.
I know, we do. I want to bring this back around here. If there's anything that you can offer to the listeners as far as inspirational to keep them going, and just any little golden nugget, words of wisdom, anything to keep them going and moving forward, and to not lose hope, whether it's physically or with spiritually or with their health or just trials and tribulations in our businesses. You get to pick what arena. If you could just render a golden nugget.
Okay, here's something that I read a little while back, probably 10, 15 years ago, and I found it to be absolutely true. There was a man who had gone to Sumatra, and back in probably 1800s, and was trying to build a coffee plantation there. And wherever he looked, he saw snakes, constant snakes everywhere. Well, he asked his head foreman, who was a native there. He said, "What is with all the snakes?" He says, "Master, you only see snakes because you look for them. Stop looking for snakes, and you won't see them. Look for other things." So my nugget of wisdom is that is exactly true. You have to look for the things you want, not for what you don't want.
Mm-hmm.
Even if your world has crumbled out around your ears and everything is just gone to hell in a handbasket, tomorrow's a new day. Get up and look for something good.
Yeah. The stuff that we are in such a can't society and a negative, and we are so, as human beings, we focus on lack, what we don't have. And when we focus on that, we receive more of what we don't have.
Oh, I know. I mean, I go to my neurologist, and they do a neuroconduction study on me, and they're looking at me going, "How are you walking?" And I'm going, "Why? Because you have so much nerve damage going on in your body, especially in your legs. You should not be able to even walk." And I was trying to him and said, I never thought about not walking.
Yeah.
It's never crossed my mind. I want to walk, therefore I do.
Yeah, it's not an option. You want to walk, therefore you do. Absolutely. And our bodies, the humanness is one of the most powerful piece of machineries in this world. It took me all the way to Rwanda, Africa, to see that with my own eyes. That the humanness is so unbelievably strong. We are so strong. strong. I mean, and we can do whatever the expression goes, we can do whatever we put our mind to it. And I agree, we can do whatever we put our mind to it, but before we get to the mind, things have got to come from the heart.
Exactly. And if you want it bad enough, don't stop. Keep going. And so what if you fail 1,000 times? Like Henry said, that's 1,000 times that you've learned how not to do it.
Yes.
1,001 might just be the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and Henry Ford did make a lot of mistakes that he turned into opportunities.
Yes, and so did Albert Einstein, and so did, Da Vinci, my God, Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I forgot about him. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, Jasmin, please, one more time. We've got 5 minutes left. I want you, if you would run by all the listeners again, how they can get in touch with you through Facebook and things like that.
On Facebook, they can find me, on Healing Connections and Pathways. It is the only page under by that name. On Google Plus, they can find me also the same name, Healing Connections and Pathways. They can find me on Twitter under Jasmin Christensen. If I think there are on Facebook, there are probably 3 or 4 other Jasmin Christensens on there, believe it or not, but all much younger and from Sweden and a couple other places.
I love that. That'll stand out. So again, everybody, it's Healing Connections and Pathways on that Facebook page. Go over, like it. It's a fan page. I don't like calling them fan pages, even though I know why they call them fan pages. It's Jasmin's business page. Go over there and like it. And then from there, you can see her name, and then you can friend request her. If you are going to friend request her, say you heard her, being interviewed on Kim's radio show, so she knows who you are.
Because I will ask. Trust me, I am not shy, because I get a lot of requests from a lot of men from other parts of the world.
Yep.
And a lot of them are okay, but then again, some of them, all I do is see a picture, have a fantasy, and think not so nice things. And I'm going, sweetie, the kid's older than you. I don't even think so.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So just, make sure you let her know. So, hey, Jasmin, would you please do me a favor? I'm going to wrap up the show. If you could just comfortably take a seat back into the green room. And I want to thank you.
And big hugs.
Oh, yes, yeah. And thank you again. Listen to my wonderful audience there. Thanks for coming. It was Jasmin. Thank you so much, Jasmin, for being on the show this evening. It's another Bold Mindful Mondays, our business inspiring show with Lead Her Up as In Women on the Rise. We're broadcasting live here at the Bold Radio station. At the Bold Radio station here, we have got so much going on. We have a brand new website. I'm going to be showcasing some phenomenal women singers. That should be up and ready to rock and roll by next week. I also want to offer some midday tips, because we do need some assistance on maybe a little bit of meditation or just a food for thoughts or something. I love food for thoughts, but absolutely. So again, reach out to me, kimbsmith.com or boldradiostation.com. Let me know if you are interested in hosting your own show or even being a guest, or if you would like to become a co-author in an amazing collaboration journey with a bunch of women in the Bold is Beautiful too. So again, everybody, go out there, make it a great evening, have a great week. We'll be back here on Thursday for Bold Biz Tips. So I will see you there, and also check out the calendar. We've got other shows going on with some very inspiring women. Go make it a great evening. And we'll hear you next week on Monday.